Hi guys, you're welcome to yet another tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be making that armless gown that was shown earlier. So I'll be using 1.5 yards of crepe fabric. So let's get into the cutting. I have 1.5 yard of crepe fabric. So I'll first cut out the upper part. Now to cut out the upper part, I'll fold my fabric into two. Then I'll use my largest parts because my half length is 15. I'll be using 16 because I'll be using half to join up and half to join it to the lower part. This cloth I will not be lining it because it's a thick fabric. I'll make sure that I got a thick fabric because I don't have the intention of putting lining or lining the fabric. So I'll go ahead and then first measure out my shoulder line where I'll be cutting out. Okay, so here's my shoulder line. Then from here, of course, to know what to fold, you just divide your bust into 4. So my bust divided by 4, my bust is 36 divided by 4, that's 9. Then I'll add 2 inches to it, that makes it 11 inches. So I'm having 12 here. I will just reduce it by 1 inch. So let's confirm. This will help you prevent wastage of fabric. So now I have 11 inches. Good. So from here now, I'm going to measure my shoulder. My shoulder is 13. 30 divided by 2 is 6.5 because this cloth is folded into 2. So I'll mark out my 6.5. I won't be adding half inch for joining lining to for joining sleeve to it because I'm not adding sleeve to this dress. So my neckline is 3 inches by 4 inch. Since I want to use the front to cut out the back, so I'll get the back neckline to which is 1.5. So my back neckline is 1.5. Then I'll connect it together using my cuff. You can use your hand. I just decided to use cuff today. So those that have been watching my tutorial, I know I use my free hand, but I just saw this cover and I said, well, let me make use of it today. So now I have my back neckline. Then for my front neckline, so this is my front neckline, this is my back neckline. Then I'll go ahead from here. I'll come down by 1 inch. That's my shoulder slope. Come down by 1 inch. Then I'll make a slope, a slant from this 1 inch to my neck width, like this. So I've made a slope. Then after that, I'll come down by 8 inches for my armhole. My armhole is 8 inches. I'll come down by 8 inches because this gown is going to be an armless gown. I don't want the armhole to be too down that it will be revealing part of my bust. So I have to just increase it up to by half inch. That will be 7 inches. So I'm coming down by 7 inches. In some cases you can come up by 1 inch instead of that half inch, just to make sure that when you're wearing it your bust is not showing from the side. So I'll make this angle. Then from here now, I'll go ahead and measure my armhole. I'll divide this armhole length into 2 here. Then after dividing it into 2, that place that I divided into 2, I'll come in by 1 inch. So I'll connect the line from the shoulder slope. Then form a armhole cuff. Before I form the armhole cuff, let me first take my bust measurement. My bust is 9 when divided into 4. So here is 9. I'm adding 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I will now form my hammock cuff like this. This is my hammock cuff for the front. The back will not have any hammock, it will not go inside too, because there's no bust at the back. So this for the back and this for the front. Sorry, the shocky is kind of dusty. Then now I can now take my half length measurement. My half length measurement is 15. I'll be using 16 because I'll use half to join the shoulder together, and I'll use half to join it to the skirt part. So I'll measure 16 inches. Then I'll draw a straight line. I'll draw a straight line. So now I will take my bust measurement, my waist measurement. My waist is 32. 32 divided by 4, that's 8 inches. So 8 inches. I'm going to add a dart of 1 inch to it. So this is my dart of 1 inch. Then I want to add 2-inch sewing allowance. So I'll connect these two lines together. After connecting the two lines together, now I will cut out the back line first, so that now use this to cut out the front, the back neckline. To fold for the back neckline, I have to add my zipper allowance. I want my zipper allowance to just be 1 inch or at most 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So go ahead and place my front bodice on the folded parts like this. So my zipper allowance here is just 1.5, you can see. So my zipper allowance here is just 1.5 like this. So now I can trace it out, but before I trace it out, at this point here, I'll come in by at the hem, at the waist length here, I'll come in by half an inch. Then that half an inch, I will slant it towards this part, just to prevent bulking. You know, some gowns you see them after putting the zip will be bulging out. So I'll cut out half inch from here. So when I cut out half inch from here to make it lay, so I'll then cut. Take away the back. Then I'll now finish cutting the front now. Cut the front neckline. Now we are done with the upper part, so we can now go on to the, okay, before I go on, let's quickly put our dart line. For you to sew your dart line, you measure your bust to bust. My bust to bust is 7 inches. 7 inches divided by 2, that's 3.5. Then the half inch that I want to sew, that makes it 4. So I'm going to mark out 4 inches here. Then I'll trace it out. Okay, so I'll come down to my bust point. My bust point is 10 inches. my dart is not going to start on my bust point. It's going to start 1 inch below my bust point. That's 11 inches. So this is 11 inches. I'll mark out 11 inches. Then from 11 inches, I'll mark out my under bust. So my under bust is 13 inches. But since I'll be joining half inch here, so I'll add the half inch here, making 13.5. So here is my under bust. Now from here, I'll go in by half an inch on the waist, half an inch. Then on my under bust, I'll make it 7.5, 0.7.5. So to be 1.5, I'll be taking it off 1 inch that I'm taking here. So to be 1.5 here, you see, this is 0.7.5, 0.7.5, 0.75, 0.75, then this 0.5, 0.5. So I'll connect these lines like this. This will make the bust to sit perfectly, like as if it was padded. So now, instead of me just going through the stress of doing the same thing at the other side, I'll just open up the shock parts and put it like this. Make sure that is equal. So once it's equal, then I'll beat. Okay, the shock is on this side, on this side. Then I'll just beat on it like this. So it will give the imprint. The shock will give an imprint on the other side. Now, let me open up so you can see the imprint here. So I will just trace it out. So that's my dart for the. I'll go ahead and measure the same 4 inches. Don't forget that we've added zipper allowance, so I'll minus the zip. I'll add the zipper allowance to it. So I have 1 inch, that's 5 inch here. I'll measure out 5 inch, then draw a straight line up. So I'll come down by 7 inches. This is where my dart is going to start from. Then I'll measure half inch, 1.5. I'll be 0.5, 0.5 here at the end side. So after measuring that, I'll connect the lines together. So these are that line. Then the same way, I will just pick up the front. I'll pick up the other side to face this side so that the shock imprint will be on it. So I don't need to be doing those calculations again. Place it very equal. So now I can beat on it. And the imprint on the other side. Okay, now I can see the line, so I'll just trace it out. So this is my back dart line. Now we go on to the skirt part. To make the skirt part right now, I'm going to take my fabric like this. I'll fold the front. I first cut out the front. So to cut out the front, for me to know what to fold, I'm going to divide my hip into 4. My hip is 42. 42 divided into 4, that's 10.5. Then I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance to it. So 10.5 plus 2 inches, that makes it 12.5. So I'll be folding 12.5 here. Okay. I want this part to be at the M side. And here is my front. So I'll fold 12.5. So let me confirm what I have here. Is it 12.5? It's more than, so I have to reduce it by 2 inches. So I'm having 12.5 now. So this is 12.5. Then my skirt length, we've already used 15 up. My total gown length is 40. But I want this gown to be a bit long, to be 45 like. Okay, let me just leave it at 40. So since I've used 15 up, any length you want to use, you can make it a 3/4 gown. So I think a 3/4 gown will be fine. Let me make it 45. But if I don't like it, I can later change it to, I'll just cut it off to, so I'll take out 15 inches here, then 45, then I'll add 2 inches for hemming allowance. So from here, you can start taking my measurement. I'll draw a straight line. So good. Now from here, I'll take my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 8 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, 10. Then I'll come down to my hip length, which is 9. From the hip length, I'll measure my hip, which is 10.5. 10.5. Then I'll add 2 sewing allowance, making 12.5 here. Then is a pencil skirt. I'll come to the hem part. So when I get to the hem, I'm going to minus 2 inches. I want it to be very pencil. So I'll just use whatever I have on my waist on the hem side. I'm having 10 here. So I'll just measure 10 here too. Or I'll just make it 10.5. So here is our hem. Then I have 2 inches. I'm going to fold as my sewing allowance so that it will not be looking funny when folding. Let me just fold the 2 inches. So I folded the 2 inches. So I can now measure my 10.5 now. So I measure my 10.5. Then I'll connect the lines together from here to this part. It's going to be kind of straight, but from here I'm going to use my hip cuff so that to give me that hip cuffy shape. So here too, I'm going to use my hip cuff. So we have our pencil skirt part. You can use it for your pencil skirts too. So there's no need. Now I can cut out the front part. Good. Now I'll fold for the back now to cut out the back skirt. I doubt this folding will be. Let's try. So for the third part, for the back side, I'm going to leave the zip allowance. The fabric left here is not so much, so I have to reduce my zip allowance. There will be 1 inch, so I'm going to reduce the upper part zip allowance to back to 1 inch, since I don't have enough. What I have here is 1, so I have to reduce the upper one to 1. So I've just place it on it like this, then I'll cut out. Here is our zip. Then at this part too, the way I came in half inch for the front, I also come in half inch for the back, but I'll just make it like 5 inches downward like this. So 5, next measure. Good. So this is just like 5 inches. Okay, 4 points. So you can make it 5 or 4.5 or 4 inches downward, depending on how big your bum is. Sorry, your buttocks is, so it can sit perfectly on it, not that to be bugging out. Then I open up the back side. Now at this part too, this my after this my hip part, I'll come down by 5 inch. I'll come down by 5 inch. Then I will just make a slant, a little slant going down, so to be a curve. So this part, no, this part has been curved out like this, just like it's just like you are giving a space for your bum to sit like this. Let me, you know, and then this one too will come this way. So I'll go down. I'm just cutting it out by just 0.5 inch, not 0.5, 0.25. Yes. So now we are done with doing proper. So to sew, we are starting. Remember I said I'm going to cut out half inch for the zipper allowance at the upper part, because we've already, let me return this back to the wrong side, because we use 1 inch for the skirt part, so we have to also use 1 inch for the upper part too. So I'll be cutting out the half inch right now. So I've cut out half inch. Now to go into the sewing proper. This piece is too sharp. It's not supposed to be very obvious like that. It's supposed to come this way. Now I will first go ahead and sew my darts. I'll pick my dart like this. I'll sew it down. Then I'll also do the same thing for the front. Pick my dart and sew. For the front too, I'll pick my dart. Then I will sew it. I'll sew this way. Pick my darts this way. Then I'll sew. I'll make sure that the center is at the center. Then I'll sew like this from here. So I'm going to do that for the front and the back. I'll go ahead and I also pipe the sleeve and the neckline. So this is the neckline. I will start from the right side like this. I will sew bias like this. I open up this line. I will start sewing on the line. I will sew it on the neckline this way, this way, this way till I get here. Then I will notch and cut it off. After cutting it off, then I will now, this part that I've sewn like this, I will now turn it over to the wrong side. Then I will also sew it round to this place. When I finish sewing, then I will do the same thing for the armhole too. I'll open up this my bias on this line. I will sew this way, this way, this way, round till I get here. Then I'll flip it over and sew it inside. So I'll go ahead and do this. Then I'll come back to show us, iron it and show us how it looks. Then we'll do the next step. So here is the front part. Here's the front part of my skirt. This is the right side, and here is my skirt. So I'll pick it up like this, then I will sew from this edge. See, make sure that. So I'll go ahead and sew it like this. This for the back, for the front, for the back. So this is the wrong side, this is the right side. Not be sure. Okay. So there's the right side there. I'll pick up my bodies here, side on side like this. Then I'll go ahead and sew it half inch this way. I'll sew half inch this way. Then this one too, I'll pick it up like this. Then I'll go ahead and sew half inch. After sewing half inch, I'll weave it, come back to show us our next step. All right, I'll attach the upper part to the lower side, to the skirt part. Then I'll weave it round so that we have a good finishing at the edges. So I'm trying to trim off the excess thread. You have to make sure you do all this to make your work neat. Then the next step now is to look at, after attaching the front, this is the front part, after attaching the upper part to the lower part. So this is what I'm having for the front part. Then I will go ahead now and then I will leave this, keep the front aside. Now pick up the back. Here's our back. I'll take it like this. Okay, I'll pick it up like this. I'll make sure that these two, the joining here, are aligned so that to not look like an Obioma sewn dress. So these places are aligned. Then I'll go ahead and measure my zip length. This part are aligned. Okay. So my zip length is length 24. So I'll just measure 22 because the rest I cannot use everything. 22. Yeah. So I measure 22. I remember we left 1 inch for our zipper allowance. So I'm going to sew 1 inch down, depending on how long you want your slit to be. For me now, since it's going to be a 3/4 gown, I want my slits to come up by, don't forget we have 2 inches for folding here, so I will not start my measurement from here. My slit, I want it to come down from, to be on 18 inches from my skirt part. So I want my slits to start here, depending on how long you want your slit to be. If you want your slit to be very short, you can start here, but make sure that the minimum slit length should be 7 inches to allow easy movement of the leg. So for me now, I'm using 11 here. Let me just use 11. So I'll measure my 1 inch in. So I'll go ahead and sew this part. So I will sew from here to here. After sewing it, then I'll fix my zip. The cloth is a bit stretchy, so it might make the zip to want to not stay very well, look funny. I'll first of all attach a paper stay or soft stay on this part so that it will give it firmness, so that when I'm sewing the zip, it will not be shaking. So I'll attach the paper stay around this zipper area for both here, for the right and the left side. before attaching my zip, so that my zip can sit perfectly on this. All right guys, this is what I was talking about when I said I'll attach paper stay. So this is the paper stay I attached to it, so that I can have a stability. So I can now remove the paper stay now. Since I've sewn the zip I want to sew, then I'll remove the paper stay. I'll also do same for here. I think it's called soft stay. So now I've removed the paper stay. Then you can see how the zipper is sitting. You see that these two edges are equal and there's no puffing or skewing because of paper stay. So here's the back this way. This is the bum part I measure out. So when I wear it, my bum will sit in this part. And this part, so I have to go ahead and fold it in this way, and then knot it here. The same thing here, fold it in this way, and then knot it. I forgot to do that before bringing it down. So now to complete the back, I will go ahead and weave this side downward and this side downward also. Then I'll pick up this part. After weaving it, I'll make sure that it's well ironed. I'll iron it out like this. After ironing it out neatly this way, this 1 inch, after ironing it out, I will now use my Emmy gum. I'll place my Emmy gum here. Let me show you example of an Emmy gum. Here's an Emmy gum. So it's different from paper stay. So I'll just place my Emmy gum like this on this part. And when I place it this way, I'll close it up and then iron it smoothly, so it will hold the pleat in place. It will not allow it to be opening. So I'll iron it smoothly, then I'll come back to show us the look after doing the ironing. Let me go and do that. I'm done attaching the hairstay, be Emmy gum to the lower part of the skirt. So after weaving it, you can see that it's stable, so it will not be opening up. I didn't allow it to get to this because I'll be hemming this side. No, I left 2 inches for hemming allowance. So now look at the back after ironing it. You see that it's sitting pretty, and I've already done all this part too. So I will now pick up my front bodice. Where's my front bodice? And place it on it like this, shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, so I will stitch this side, then I'll also stitch this side. After stitching this side, I will come to the side, and then I'll pin it down. Let me arrange them. So make sure that it's well arranged. So this is what we have now. So I will take my choke and measure. Remember our sewing allowance is 2 inches, but let's confirm if we still have that 2 inches there. We'll go ahead like this. I'm going to measure my, let me move it a bit down so that, okay, the camera can pick everything. Now my bust is 36 divided by 2, that makes it 36 divided by 2, that's 18 inches. So I'll measure what I have here. I'm having 20.5 inches. So 20.5 inches, I'll measure. Oh, no, sorry, because of this part is that that side is folded in, so I have to stretch it out. What I'm having here now is 22. Yes, 22. You see, if I stretch out that part that is folding in, so I have 22, and my 18 is my bust measurement. I'll just measure 2 here, then I'll also measure 2 here, then I'll come to my waist. My waist is 32. Half of 32 is 16. So let me see what I have here. I have 20 here. So I have 20 here. So since I have 20 here, I'll measure 2 here. I'll also measure 2 here. Don't forget that you can either remeasure your body measurement, or you just measure out your allowance that you added and sew it out. So I'll come to my hip part. This is my hip part. What I added for my hip is 42 divided by 2, that's 21. So I have 25 here. So I'll just measure 2 out here. Then I'll measure 2 here also. So I still have to maintain my line. Then I'll connect these lines like this. I'll connect it. This one's going to be a cuff, not the line. So that's 80. Then I'll come down. No, it was what I have at the waist that I used. So I have 16 here. I'm going to measure what I have here. I have 22. So 22, I'll take away to 2 inches. So I'll mark out 2 inch here. I'll also mark out, oh, sorry. Okay. So I'll mark out my, I'll mark out 2 inch here also. Then I'll connect it to this part using this part. I'm supposed to use hip cuff too, so that I'll not be having a kind of budgie cuff after sewing. So then I'll come down. So the mark I made at front part is what I'm still making at the back. So now I will go ahead and sew from here down, do the same thing to the other side. Then I'll weave the side. After weaving the side, I'll hem the bottom. Then I'll come back to show us our final look. So guys, we've come to the end of the tutorial. I have different short videos on how to style this gown, as you can see in the thumbnail ahead. So I've already sewn the sides. You see, I've sewn the sides, then I've weave it, I've interlocked the edges, then I turn it by 1. I first folded it by 1, then I folded it again by another 1 inch. So now our dress is ready. So I'll be styling it in different style, with different blouse, different ways you can style this dress. It's multi-purpose dress. It's just going to be, if you're going to a place and you don't want to go with very much load and you still want to look dupe or very gorgeous, just go with this one gown and then other accessories with it. So you're good to go. Nobody will know that you're repeating the dress. So you can see how the dress is looking so pretty. We've come to the end of tutorial. If you know that you've not subscribed to this channel, or you're not, or you have any question, ask in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, make sure please ensure to subscribe so that I can get notification of new tutorials. And do not forget to like, comment, and share to those that you think that this video might be of help to. Okay, bye. See you in my next tutorial.